Not your average tabletop. Woohoo!
Welcome to Not Trevor Tabletop. I'm Zach,
And I'm Pepper.
and today we are doing our first impressions of Mythicals, which is a game we played on Board Game Arena. We have not played the physical copy of this game, but yeah, this one I thought looked interesting. I'm like, okay, it's two-player game. I tend to like card games, and yeah, I when I went into the instructional thing that they have on Board Game Arena, I'm like, oh, you're drawing three cards, huh? And then you're keeping some. It immediately reminded me of Conspiracy, which is a game by Bruno Catala. It's one that we really like. So I was like, oh boy, this could definitely be a Pepper game right here. And then it has a little bit of the lanterns kind of scoring because you're collecting. You can see on the bottom you're collecting these four different colors of cards and then trying to score by creating kind of runs or else trying to get some of the same, all the same number, different colors, those kind of scoring. Maybe not as close of a connection to lanterns as it reminded me of maybe Conspiracy a little bit more, maybe. Although in that one you are making a tableau, this one you're just kind of keeping a hand of cards. But yeah, I was like, okay, this could be interesting. This could be a nice, snappy, quick card game. And the artwork, obviously, it's hard to tell because it's kind of a board game arena version. But I feel like if this was one that had my own copy, I think this artwork would be pretty cool if it's
Yeah.
anything like this.
Yeah. I wonder if
Um,
it has like foil for the gold part
that's
on
what I was wondering as well because it looks like it definitely could, and if it did, that would be all time.
that would
Um,
be.
but yeah, so you will on your turn be either drawing three cards from the deck, and then you can keep all of a single color. Um, so in this case, I'm guessing I probably picked purple.
Well
And then
done.
any leftover ones go kind of to the main player or game board there. So that three went into that red column. And that is your other option there. You can just
That's
take one
true.
of those colors, you take everything there. And then you just add it to your hand. And then you can go back. And one of the things that happens, say there that I wouldn't have taken it in this case, but say there was, a one, four, and that three purple. If I take a card I already own, then my opponent gets that card. So it does not go to the game board there. It goes straight to your opponent, so they don't have to do anything to get it. So that's kind of one of those little things that you can maybe see throughout the game, which works the same way if that card was, now it's sitting with the purples. If more cards were added to that, and I just said, oh, it's kind of juicy. I want those other purple ones that are there, but I don't really. Obviously, I don't want the three because I've got one. That would still go to Pepper if I took those. Um, but then what you'll be doing, you can see I did it there. Chose to score. So after you take cards every time, you can choose to score something. And if you do, whichever one you score, you have to qualify for it, obviously, and then you spend your cards, so you lose those cards. Then you can choose any other tile on the board, no matter what, and you have a couple options. You can either pretty much add extra points to it, so bonus markers. You can put it on. You can put one on there, two on there, or you can flip it over so bonus markers cannot be added to that tile. And you might wonder why you'd want to do this. And obviously, here early on in the game, it's not, maybe not as easy to tell, but I could see, oh, Pepper's got himself. So I think it must be known to both players, I believe, what the opponent has.
Yeah.
Um, so I knew he had two reds already. And I'm like, okay, well, if he gets a two or a five red, he's going to have three in a row, and he's going to try to score this. So I blocked that off. So he cannot add more points to it. He can still score it, but he cannot add more points to it.
Yeah.
Um, so there's that little piece to it, and yeah, pretty much you keep going until in the final nine cards. Oh, look at that right there. Sometimes you get lucky, obviously, and that might be a factor that we talk about a little bit. I think that is a big part of this game, and that may or may not have hurt my score slightly, at least.
Yeah.
Because as you can see, it's a pretty quick game. It can be. But in the final nine cards, there's a sun card, and once that triggers, it pretty much ends the game. So, uh,
Yeah.
kind of on those last three turns, one of those is going to end the game
Yeah.
of drawing cards. And yeah, you just kind of keep going. back and forth and back and forth, kind of doing that. When you score any of those tiles, like I said, you'll get to choose one of those things. You might want to add points if you kind of have those cards. So
Yeah.
that's the point where you'd want to do that, add points versus just flip it over. But yeah, did I miss anything, Pepper?
I don't
Pretty
believe
simple.
you did. Yeah, it's a very simple game, and I was pretty excited about it when you were started explaining it. And I'm like, okay, I see conspiracy, I see a little lantern, some set collection, and I liked it. I liked what I was hearing. As you can see, we're getting pretty close. Well over halfway into the game here, and I finally got my first tile there. I ended up getting a. I was going big, I think, was my strategy, and I think that might not be the best strategy to just go all in on like, okay, I'm going to try to get run of fives, uh, but and don't expect.
I thought you might get me there for a little bit because
Yeah.
it was looking like you were all of a sudden going to get a couple big ones in a row, and most of mine were kind of those small ones. So
Yep, and you did end up getting a good draw as well, which snagged. I was one away from being able to get that four run of blue, and then you snagged
I
the
got
two
very
cards
lucky.
you needed. Yep, skill. But
Skill.
I, so I ended up only scoring like two cards, two tiles here. You got like a bunch of them. Just did not pan out for me. I don't want that bad, devastating loss to kind of affect the score too much because I know I do really love the mechanisms, the draw three, and it's more rewarding than conspiracy, where you can, like you saw there, if you draw three greens, you can keep all three of them. I think for it's short and quick, even shorter and quicker than conspiracy. I think that works. It is very luck based, and it can really hurt some games, hurt the game for some people. I'm sure could kill the game for some people, but I think for as quick as it is, I'm willing to forgive that. Um, even if it can burn me, it can help me just as much and make for great moments that give you like out of nowhere a 10 point tile where you thought you were gonna have to settle for something else. So I really like that. I love whenever discard piles, very similar to conspiracy as well, where they kind of stack based on color. And then they just get juicier and juicier, and then you can get like three cards, three, four cards at once, possibly. Um, so I like a lot of that. The scoring was pretty straightforward. Tile, set collection, but just with that added bonus of you can increase the value of a future one. You can't increase it and then take it immediately, so you're still going to have to get it later. So maybe you are have both of them right now, and you can just get it pretty safely, seemingly, unless the opponent has a great draw. Or maybe you just play the long game and you're like, I think I'm going to want to go for this. I only have maybe two, but I think I'm going to get the five cards. I think that's a pretty cool thing as well. I don't know about it's not really a negative, it's just making it so you can't add more points to it, which I guess it's good that you can't add negative points to a tile, but
Or just remove the tile altogether.
oh yeah, removing the tile altogether, that would be terrible. But I feel like maybe it should add some negative, like negative 1 point versus maybe they weren't even going to add positive points to it to begin with. Maybe that's the easier to achieve one that they were going to do to add points to something else, and they can still do that. Maybe they weren't going to add points to that particular one they were going to. So sometimes it can feel like that's no impact on the tile. That might be my um, I mean, only negative other than obviously the luck factor being a huge factor in the game.
Yeah, I didn't find that as interesting. It gives you something to do when you do complete it. It gives you an interesting
Yeah,
choice of doing something, and that is a way where yeah, if you see your opponent already has completed something, it's like okay, I'll just flip that over, and that way I guess it doesn't like
yeah,
necessarily hurt your opponent like you said if they're gonna score. At least it's not like oh it adds -2, and now all of a sudden it's like well, now the opponent's got to go for the next one. And what if you score another kind of small one the next time? And
yeah,
oh, now I messed that one over too. Um, so I think I would rather have it the way it is than negatives.
yeah.
But I can see what you mean where it might not have an impact, but I think that's the risk you take. That it's like, oh, I'm hoping this is the one that he's going for, but sometimes that also I think is can be just used as a thing of like motivating them to,
Go more.
yeah, instead of getting this one, that other one's open above it. You keep digging for that other card, even though it's going to take you all game to get it.
Yeah,
And you just
that's
wait. I'm going to take that one that's flipped over, so then you just don't get it at all.
yeah, boy. So there can be a little tick that, but not too bad since you can't like steal cards because if you have doubles, you can't just hog all of a card. So I like that as well, where it's not that bad. It's just like you just won't get that one, and you will give it to them, so you kind of save them a turn. I think
Mhm.
that's a cool mechanism in there, kind
I
of
agree. I
not
agree.
bad, but you don't really want to help the opponent, so uh, put that
Yeah.
in other games. But overall reaction to it. I was having a very bad time, but I was also having a good time because it was laughably bad, as you can see here. 12 points to 30 points. Got my butt whooped, but I do like all the mechanisms. Might be it's probably the right length, but I think the kind of game end, I could see that because it's in the last three rounds, right?
Hmm.
And I think you were first player here, and then you triggered it, but then I didn't get another turn after that, so not an even amount of turns, which I'm like, figures the way this game's going, I won't get a chance to score anything, but I feel like with so few rounds in the game, maybe having that being variable between the three rounds might be a little too random, and could really hurt someone possibly.
Yeah, I think I would probably agree. I'd just have it go all the rounds because, yeah, ours ended the quickest it could end. Um, but yeah, I wouldn't mind if you just knew like, okay, there's that many rounds, especially if you don't get another turn. That way, like, okay, well, there's only the three cards left, so whoever takes those next one, it's done.
Yeah. Yep.
Um, and yeah, so yeah, this one. I think the luckiness, we'll see with more plays how that actually affects it, or if um, after more plays, maybe it will feel like, okay, I can see the maybe some cleverness to some of the decisions you're making in this that actually are meaningful versus just feeling like, oh well, there's that hand that person got, and now it's pretty much guaranteed the victory because they were already doing well, and now they got three in a run of a color. It's over for me, kind of thing. Hopefully, it doesn't feel like that's the kind of outcome every game. But I think I'm coming at a 7. I still really liked it, and I could see it going up if it has that kind of effect. But I think if I played it more and more, and it was always feeling like, oh, okay, well, that's kind of unlucky. That's kind of unlucky, and it doesn't feel like I can make some interesting decisions to kind of affect things a little bit. Then it might go down a little bit for me, but it's short enough that I don't think it's like it doesn't bother me as much when there's some luck in that. If it was an hour long game, then yeah,
Yeah.
I think this would be kind of like that's kind of eh.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I,
I
I
think it's the right
agree.
amount of time for that. Even if you did play it to the end of those last
Yeah.
extra 2 rounds or whatever, possibly.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I'm coming in with a 7 as well. Got some cool things in it, and I am looking forward to see how it shakes out, kind of what it's like after a few more plays. So let us know if you want to see us play this game and see us play it live, not just watching a replay. Not live for us. Play it and film it versus watching a replay and get our reactions when these crazy things happen again and I get whooped by even more.
Yeah, let us know in the comments below if you'd like to see that. But if you like this video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe for future ones like this. And as always, don't forget to keep on nibbling on our content.